Do you have the courage to say no to something that's just good enough? Can you walk away from offers that are okay, but not great? At first glance, if given a choice between good enough and excellence, we all choose excellence, right? But here's the kicker. Life doesn't give away excellence so easily. And thus many of us simply give up. Today we're gonna dig into why we settle for less than we deserve and how we can break free from this cycle. We're talking about jobs, relationships, opportunities, all the areas where we may be tempted to say, good enough. Alright, let's get real. There are three big reasons why many of us settle for good enough. First up, fear of missing out and fear of uncertainty. We worry that if we pass up this opportunity, something better may not come along. So we say yes even if it's not ideal, just to avoid potentially missing out on something. The unknown of saying no and potentially missing an opportunity creates anxiety. The discomfort of uncertainty outweighs settling for good enough. Second, the sunk cost fallacy. If we already invested time, energy, and resources into something, we feel compelled to see it through rather than waste our efforts starting over. It's like being in a mediocre relationship and telling yourself, well, I've already put in so much time and effort. It would be such a waste to let go now. But here's the truth. We're not machines. We're human beings with complex emotions. And we sometimes make poor decisions based on strong emotions like fear or regret. Third, the scarcity mindset. If we believe opportunities are scarce, we lower our standards and take what we can get. This often comes from past experiences and our environment. If we didn't have many success past experiences of getting what we want, we often settle for what we can get. It's like a losing team on the field. If they keep losing game after game, it becomes very difficult to believe they'll win the next one. Let's talk about a common scenario. Accepting a job that isn't really what you truly want to do. We often say, oh, just accept this one. And when something better comes, or leave. It sounds logical on paper, but it doesn't happen that smoothly in the real life. Here's what really usually happens. When you accept that good enough job, you lose a big portion of motivation to keep searching. You don't feel the pressure to actively look anymore, and you end up staying longer than you should. Then you start justifying why it's absolutely okay to continue with this mediocre job. But here's the truth. You deserve more than just good enough. You deserve a job that excites you, challenges you, and aligns with your values and goals. Don't sell yourself short by settling for less. Now, let's talk about relationships. You may find yourself agreeing to stay in a relationship that isn't fulfilling because you worry you may not be able to meet someone else just as good. Since the potential consequence of loss seems greater than the potential gain of something new, you say yes to stay on the safe path. I've been on this road before, and I can tell you, it's not easy to say no to good enough. Excellence is always great on paper, but in practice, it's another story to achieve it. Even for myself recently, I was seeing somebody who was in solid A in my book, and it was very challenging to see her lose interest in me. And imagine how difficult it would be if I was in relationship with her for a couple years and then I decided to move on. I can tell you this right now. It's probably almost impossible for me to leave. I'm willing to admit it. It's not easy. It's not easy to leave a good enough relationship and go for spectacular relationship. That's why you have to consciously remind yourself of what you are capable of what you really desire. I know it's hard, but believing in yourself. Don't let a temporary discomfort hold you back from pursuing your dream life. Remember, you're always capable of excellence. So don't sell yourself short. Just because you make a wrong choice doesn't mean you have to stick with it for the rest of your life. You always have a choice to move on. Don't forget that. Your happiness and fulfillment are worth more than settling for a mediocre relationship. So how do we break free from this cycle of settling? Here are some strategies. First, cultivate an abundance mindset. Believe that there are many opportunities out there. Whether you see it or not, we have been given many chances in life. The catch is you have to take action and be willing to risk failure. Second, acknowledge that saying no means potentially missing out, but focus on the potential gains of holding out for something better aligned with your values. Stepping into the unknown can be scary, but remind yourself that growth often lies outside comfort zones. Third, don't let past investments trap you in mediocrity. Recognize when it's time to cut losses and move on. The sunk cost fallacy is a trap. Just because you've invested time or energy into something doesn't mean you need to stick with it forever. Finally, don't be afraid to set high personal standards and prioritize your long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. Settling for less can lead to regret and stagnation. Alright, let's wrap this up. Remember, saying no to good enough is not easy, but it's an essential skill for living a life aligned with your values and aspirations. By understanding the challenges and cultivating the right mindset, you can empower yourself to embrace excellence and chase what truly fulfills you. Don't wait passively for opportunities. Actively seek out what you truly desire. Take action, risk failure, and believe in your ability to achieve greatness. You deserve more than just good enough. You deserve excellence. Never doubt your potential and sell yourself short.